Why, hello, and whoa, welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guy, Zollin Ironshield, and we have Jethros here with us today. And today we are going to talk about Sauron, and this will be a quick guide on Sauron for PvP. We're going to assume that you guys are level 5 respect with them, so you can have all his abilities, and we're going to try to give you some of the best builds. He's pretty much used a lot of times as more of a support debuffer, but we're gonna also we'll have Jethros talk about that a little bit with this because he's our resident lore master. All right, so I'll take it away. So Jethros, what would be the ideal build if you respect 5? You could get to level 40 on this commander for PvP. What would you do with him with the trait tree here?
All right, this was a bit of a mess.
Yeah,
but I would recommend 5 points in the Deceiver.
Okay.
This is top R1. So you get the chance to inflict madness in the before battle begins phase, which is the pre-battle phase. Then I would do 1 point in Lord of Gifts, so that you have a ability that has a chance to inflict madness.
Okay.
And then I would do 1 point in his R3.
Okay.
So that you have an ability that has a chance to stun for 2 rounds.
Okay.
And then I would max out his Respect 5 tree, since damage dealers are kind of the meta.
Yeah.
It gives him stun immunity himself, and it also just reduces their stats, their attack, defense, and focus by 15% when maxed out. And this will go on all 4 commanders when fully maxed out. And so ultimately this will be really strong. And then basically, so I think that's a total of 10, 17, 30. Yeah, so basically you would have 3 more points left over, probably by level 40, 41, whatever it is. And so I would put the rest into I think Lord of Gifts.
Lord of Gifts.
That would be the one that I would probably do, because it affects multiple formations.
Okay.
I think that his R3, let me just double check that R3. I think that one only affects 1 formation. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for that reason, I would pretty much go for Lord of Gifts. Even though Keen Eye on the level 5 does give that pursuit effect, at later rounds it's a lot less
ignores
common
invasion.
that enemies have evasion still active.
Okay.
So
yeah. Cool. So pretty much you want to get 1 point. You want to get 5 points of this, 1 point, 1 point. Max this out, and then any of your extra you usually would want to drop into Lord of Gifts.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So now, since we have that information, we're going to go over to this page, flip to this side of the screen, and we're going to talk about over there his stats. So what we like to do with these quick guides is talk about their ideal stats in an order of what's like most important, right, for the first like 3 or 4 stats, whether it be for units or the commander himself over there. So I'll go ahead and let Jethros take that away. What do you think is the ideal in order?
Number 1 priority for Sauron. Sauron is the reason why everyone needs initiative. For a lot of support, at least, commander builds, initiative is super important so that you can beat out Sauron and what he does in the pre-battle phase. So for that same reason, you want Sauron to have as much speed as possible, as much initiative as possible. That way that he will trigger his stuff first.
Okay,
period.
So initiative
so that's number
super
1.
Important.
Secondary is definitely focus, because a lot of his stats do scale with focus, but his focus scaling is not super great. He already has a decently high natural focus, but his focus scaling is not that great. His damage dealing builds are not that great, but that is what he scales off of. So secondarily, it would be focus, and then third, I would recommend command, so that whatever unit he has survives longer.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, you usually want to put a tanky unit on him, and so you'll want command or any other sort of like resistances so that he can survive.
Yeah, and a lot of times he's with a group of army that either is like army based or damage, or like other commanders are doing the damage, and he's kind of there to mess up the enemy team, basically.
Yeah.
Right. All right, cool. So now that we talked about the ideal stats, we're going to hop over to the Matham house and look at all the items here, and we're going to talk about what are the ideal items, right? We're going to start with first, we'll start with the same order of what Jethros just told us. We'll do the weapon first, and we're going to start with the gold weapon. What would be the ideal in-slot gold item for him? For this weapon?
The very best gold item will probably be the Reach of the Rittermark. Because it gives +2 initiative.
Initiative. Okay.
And that stacks up to 6 when it's fully strengthened. So
got it. And it gives focus.
No need to refine it, by the way. Just the commander damage isn't a big stat for him, but it will help a smidge, but not very noticeably.
Okay. And is there any initiative with command? I'm trying to remember that.
Yeah, if you wanted to do one with command, you would probably go for the Reckoning. Yeah, you're hovering it a little bit.
Got it.
That would give command and unit defense, but there's no initiative here and there's no focus here.
Okay.
So if you wanted him to make him more of a tank, you could, but you're giving away the possibility of his madness like barely doing anything, and that's a big reason you use him.
Okay.
To try and inflict that madness.
So another one.
I want to mention the Obsidian Dagger is a decent weapon because of the focus and the initiative. +1 initiative.
Yeah.
As well as the Sand Claw, because the Sand Claw does give 2 initiative and a little bit of focus. So
all right. So you're pretty much looking at Reach of the Rittermark, Obsidian Dagger, Sand Claw, or then if you don't have any of those, Reckoning.
Right.
But if they're free to play and they don't have a gold item, what would be a good purple item to focus on?
The Carver.
Okay.
Is a good one. Or
focus.
The Uruk crossbow.
Command focus. Okay. Cool. So then we'll hop straight into the armor piece. I'm assuming it's this one, right? Or is there an initiative armor piece that's better?
There is an initiative armor piece that's better.
So this would be if you only... Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be you got the Berserker's Raiment or the Explorer outfit. Those are the ones that give initiative.
2.
I think here the Explorer outfit is probably actually better.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather have the stats on my units and the commander defense, so he has survivability to keep doing his thing in case of draws.
A really good one. But and then if they don't have any of the initiative items, chess piece, and they just want to go for focus, something like this might be good if they have it. Okay.
And yep, definitely.
Okay.
I think that if you find yourself having a lot of focus gear and not having initiative gear, then maybe you consider slightly different builds with his skills.
Yeah, we're just telling everyone the ideal.
If you want to play him optimally, then you would probably build slightly differently if he has really high focus and not very much initiative.
Got it. Okay, but we're basically saying the best build possible that we could get for the ideal like PvP meta. But yes, correct. And then for the chess piece, then it would be focus, probably, right? Because I forget, do any of these have initiative? Oh no, this one does. Scout's Mail.
The Scout's Mail,
Focus
the Scout Mail is awesome because it's the only purple piece that gives initiative.
So that's probably the
ideal. And it does give focus as well. So that's going to be your best in slot, or the Goblin, the Goblin armor because it gives some focus. Darn. The Hunter's one is probably the one that gives +5 focus.
Oh, 5, that's better.
Hunter's Skin. I always forget that one. That one's actually great because it does give unit defense too.
Yeah.
That's probably a better second option.
Better than the Goblin? Okay, but this is still the best one if you're free to play. You could probably get this one pretty easy. One. So, and then we'll go for the helmet next. Would be...
the Call of the Forest is the best in slot. Helmet +2 initiative, gives focus and command.
Yeah.
It's literally got everything you want right there in a nice little package with a red bow. It's very pretty. Yeah,
exactly. But if they don't have that, a secondary one is, I don't think there's any other really initiative ones.
Right. So I would recommend the Cask of the Submerged Isle just because of its high unit defense and its command. It checks those 2 boxes. And then thirdly, I would recommend the Grey Wizard Hat for focus.
Okay. Cool. So then if they don't have those, though, a good purple item would probably be, I'd assume, the focus.
It would be the Bone Mask.
Bone Mask.
Definitely, I would go Bone Mask or the other one that you just clicked on.
This one, which command.
That one gives command and defense, unit defense. Even the Horseman Helm is good, too.
Okay. Good, because unit defense. All right. Awesome. So then, wow, we're getting through this quickly. The accessory that you think would probably this, right?
Yeah,
initiative.
Maria's Reigns is probably the best one. It's got your defensive stuff, your command, and your initiative all packed.
Yeah, just no
nicely.
focus.
It's just missing a little bit of focus, but that's going to be okay because we didn't go hard into the focus scaling here anyways.
And then there's really, with initiative, I can't really think of any other one that has really initiative.
Yeah, the Signet of the Barrows is a good one. It has focus and initiative, and the Box of Knowledge has focus and initiative.
Yeah.
As well.
So that's a good second.
The Palantir of Orthanc doesn't really help you with very much focus, so I would ignore it. But what about the Orthanc's Devilry is probably a really good one too, because it does have command and focus.
Okay.
And unit defense. Units. So it does check a little bit of several boxes, and having a little bit of siege damage never hurt nobody. So
yeah, exactly. So, but again, this one's a really huge one. And then I forget this one used to have initiative, didn't it, a long time ago? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
it's in my head. And then for the accessory, what would you for purple?
The Drums of Moria or the Bone Talisman.
All right. There
Depending
you have
on if you're Oh, sorry, I said Bone Talisman, but I was actually thinking of the other one that does focus, the Harp of Lorien.
Harp of Lorien.
Lorien.
Yes, because it gives a lot of focus and some unit attack. Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I would do as a secondary option.
All right, and this would be your first option.
Drums of Moria would be my first pick. Yeah.
All right, cool. So there we go. There we have it. There's some good items you can do with him. And then we like to finish up with the same thought, but we like to think about the in-slot set bonus, if you can get it. Because this is always hard, especially if you're free to play. It's really hard because these are randomized on every item. So to get the right item and all the right set bonuses, to have all four of the same set bonus, challenging. But I'm assuming this one, right, Jethros? Agility?
Agility, yeah. If you can get an agility set, that is the best set you could get going on here. The set effects are definitely helpful, but I would take suboptimal items just to get an agility set if I could. I would actually prioritize agility
for this character
over a lot of non-initiative items. Even in some cases, I would even consider a blue that finishes out the set. That's how important agility is here.
A blue item, which we didn't say, because we don't use those for PvP.
Yeah. So if you have a choice between a Grey Wizard's helmet that just has 16 focus, or any blue item that gives this initiative bonus from agility, I would pick that as a priority. Like that's how important it is to have high agility on Sauron.
That flat 10 applies to the units and him. Right?
Yes.
And since we just talked about it, you realize if we add up all the items flat without upgrading, strengthening them, right, to get that higher, it's only like a flat, if you have all the best ones, like what, +6 or something?
Well, each one is a +6 for best in slot, so then that would be a +24.
But that's if you strengthen
the commander only. Yeah, if you fully strengthen them.
Yeah, but I'm saying
if you fully strengthen them, but this one is giving you a +10 on your commander and a +10 on your units, which is technically like a +20.
Oh, okay.
So it almost on its own makes up for having fully strengthened best in slot gold items on initiative.
But if there's someone that can't strengthen any of their gold items, like you're saying, it'd be better to have a blue one than a gold maybe in that case to do agility.
Right.
Because if it's just one versus 10. This is a rare exception to the rule. Sometimes this isn't the case with most commanders. You really care more about the stats on the weapon, but in this case for him, you want him to get those debuffs off. So agility is important. What's a good secondary one though? Even though I know this is the one they really should be looking for.
Basically, your stock standard damage resistance. Like you could do evasive action, divide and conquer. Those are great. Depending on what type of unit you have, you could pick which one's the best. Or you could just do thick skin if you just want flat defense, because you might not have. If you're prioritizing a lot of initiative, then you might not have very much defense yet.
Okay. So all right, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we covered that pretty thoroughly there. Thanks so much, Jethros. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks over there to my Patreons for their support. Have a great day in Middle-earth. Have fun playing some RiseToWar. And again, I know we're making this video for both people who play a lot or spend a lot, and people who are free to play. Hopefully it helps having a little bit up with the purple items and golds. Anyway, the Root Kazad Kuzare menu. See you in the next one, guys.